And finally, I've got Dick Grasso here with me, the former NYSE chairman and CEO. You've been a popular man this morning. Dick, what's it like to be back here after having left in 2003?
Well, first, my apology to your viewers. Entirely my fault that we got a little scheduling problem. It feels fabulous to be back. This is my first time back since I left the exchange in 2003. I must tell you, I am very impressed with what Duncan Niederauer and his team have done in terms of bringing the best of technology to the best open outcry market in the world and creating a hybrid that I think is the model that serves public investors best. So it's a wonderful experience to come back to. Of course, the occasion of my return is the 10th anniversary of 9/11. And of course, many of the people who rang the bell this morning were with me 10 years ago when we reopened the exchange.
And you've seen that again here.
It was a bittersweet moment. It was a time of great challenge for the country, but a time of great outpouring of uniformity of support for the American way of life. So I'm thrilled to be back, and this is the greatest market in the world, always has been and always will be.
But Dick, I know you've talked before about how program trading, right, and computers are now sort of taking over. And, we see it's no secret, fewer and fewer traders here on the floor at the exchange. In 10 years, do you even think there is going to be an exchange floor here?
Well, I absolutely do, because I draw the analogy to the airline business. Look how technology has changed air transport, ticketing, baggage handling, ground support. But when it comes to flying that airplane, you've got 3 live bodies in the cockpit. These are the live bodies in the cockpit. You need the best of technology and the best of people, and that's what this is.
But how's that going to happen? 4,000 traders were here, you said, about by the time you left in 2003. Now we've got just hundreds here.
Well, I think what's happened is the market has grown dramatically, and the line continuously moves up to where technology is a better utilization of process than people. While that line moves up, you get fewer and fewer people, but it will never completely eliminate the people.
Right.
The best example I can give you, to buy or sell 25,000 shares of a $4 stock is an e-commerce transaction. To buy or sell 100 shares of Berkshire Hathaway Class A, trading at over $100,000 a share, will never be e-commerce.
Dick, let's just turn very quickly to President Obama's job speech last night. You impressed?
Well, I think there are elements to it that are very good. But, the macro take from last night is how can more deficits and temporary tax initiatives solve a long-term problem? I would have felt much better if there were permanent tax cuts, a tax holiday for repatriation of corporate cash offshore, some sort of
I know that's been a big issue for you.
It has been. Some sort of a consumer, if you will, shot in the arm. My favorite is to say to consumers, call it income level less than $200,000, college tuition, tax deductible.
But ultimately, though, Dick, and this just before we head to break, do you think it's going to pass? Do you think it's got enough to get bipartisan support?
Well, I think they're going to have to cull through it, and elements of it will pass. I don't think the American people will any longer stand for this pure partisanship, OK Corral standoff. You've got to put America in front of political elections, and that's not what's happened in the last few months. The American people, if they don't come to some reconciliation, the American people are going to throw them all out come next year.
Say you're fired, essentially. Dick,
exactly right.
Thank you. Great
Betty,
to see you.
Dick
Grasso from the New York Stock Exchange, former NYSE CEO.